Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope you all doing well. Dear students, this lecture is for grade 10, subject chemistry. And in this lecture, we will discuss the remaining questions of exercise of chapter number 13. And also we will start chapter number 14. This is my 25th video lecture and I am your lecturer, Mrs. Saira Jamal. Extended question answers chapter number 13. Question number 3. Distinguish between mono, di, and trisaccharides. Give examples. So monosaccharides, as you know, that they are composed of only one unit cell. They cannot be hydrolyzed because they are already made up of simple units. So they cannot be further hydrolyzed. They serve as a building blocks for more complex carbohydrates. You know that these simple monosaccharide units, glucose units or sugar units, they combine together through a special type of bond, which is called glycosidic bond or glycosidic linkage, and then they form carbohydrates like disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetra, so on and so forth, depending upon the number of these simple units which combine together. Examples of monosaccharides are glucose, fructose, galactose. All these are monosaccharides. They are made up of one unit, and that is hexose, because all of they contain 6 carbon atoms, C6H12O6. This is the formula of glucose, fructose, and the difference is only the functional group. In glucose, the functional group is aldehyde, while fructose, the functional group is ketone. The next one is disaccharide. Disaccharide, di means two, saccharide means sugar units. So disaccharides are composed of two sugar units or two monosaccharide units, and those two monosaccharide units are linked together through glycosidic bond, and they can be hydrolyzed. Definitely they can be hydrolyzed. Hydrolysis, I told you, reaction of water to carbohydrates to react them and to break them into simple units. So they can be hydrolyzed into two sugar units. Examples are sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Sucrose is made up of glucose and fructose. Lactose is made up of glucose and galactose. Maltose is made up of glucose and glucose. You can see galactose, glucose, fructose all have same formula, all are hexoses. Trisaccharides, from the name indicated, tri mean 3 and saccharide mean sugar units or glucose unit or monosaccharide unit. They are composed of 3 monosaccharide units, and those 3 monosaccharide units are linked to 2 glycosidic linkage, because the 3 monosaccharide units, the middle one is linked at one side with 1 glucose unit and at the other side with second sugar unit. So that's why there are 2 glycosidic bonds between the trisaccharides. And upon hydrolysis, they yield 3 sugar units. Example of a trisaccharide is raffinose. Raffinose formula is C18H32O16. C18 means that 6, like it has 6 threes are 18, 3 sugar units. So upon hydrolysis, raffinose will give 3 sugar unit or 3 glucose unit. Then tetrasaccharide, you know, have 4, pentasaccharide have 5 sugar units. So they vary on the basis of the sugar units through which they are made up of. Question number 7 gives sources and uses of carbohydrates. Although we discussed in the topic, I'm just giving a quick review to the topic. Sources of carbohydrates are first one for the monosaccharide. The sources monosaccharides like glucose, fructose, and galactose. We obtain them from fruits, vegetables, and cereals. And fructose is also present in honey. Disaccharide sources are like sucrose, you know, is the table sugar, and it is obtained from sugar cane, sugar beet, and fruits. Maltose is found in cereals. Lactose is main sugar in milk and dairy products. Cellulose is obtained from plants. For example, cotton is pure cellulose, and starch is present in cereals, wheat, barley, rice, maize, potato, sweet potato, etc. So all these are mainly from the plant origin, and some of the dairy products contain these carbohydrates in them. Then the next one is uses of carbohydrates. Carbohydrate give us energy, that is 1 gram of glucose will give us 15.6 kilojoule energy, and they also serve as a food for most organisms, like for human beings and as well as for animals. And they also serve as a structural material for plant, like cellulose, which is a polysaccharide. It make the plant body. And cellulose in human diet is also referred as fiber, although the body is not our body does not digest cellulose, but it acts as a fiber and help in the digestion of food. It is found in bran, whole meat, bread, fruit, and vegetables. As I told you, we cannot digest it, but it helps in digestion. Also in the muscles of intestine to move the food efficiently to the digestive tract. And it also absorbs and carries away toxic chemicals in food that would otherwise harm us. So it also helps us in lowering the cholesterol level and regulates blood pressure. Sucrose, which is common table sugar, we use it in our all the products. Glucose is stored in animal muscle in the form of glycogen, and glycogen serve as a long-term energy reservoir. It can convert it back to glucose whenever our body needs energy, and plants store excess carbohydrate in the form of starch, and whenever the plant needs energy, then that starch is converted back into glucose, and then metabolism of that glucose gave energy to plants, and glycogen gave energy to animals. Starch is used to make rectified spirit by fermentation process. Rectified spirit, which is also called ethanol. Ethanol is called rectified spirit, and it is formed from starch by a process called fermentation. Starch is also converted into dextrose, which is used as an adhesive for stamp and wallpaper glue, like to make the glue. It can also be used. Cow, cattle, goat, deer, sheep, and termites, they eat cellulose, or they eat plants which contain cellulose. We use cellulose in the form of wood for heating, housing, and furniture. Wood is also used to make paper and wood pulp. And the cellulose fiber of cotton is used to make rayon and cellulose acetate, which are used in making clothes. Question number 9, define and explain vitamins. What are vitamins? Vitamins are organic compounds which are required by our body to prevent specific diseases, but vitamins cannot be produced by our body. So it means that the vitamin we must take in our food, the intake of vitamin in food is compulsory, because our body is unable to prepare or synthesize vitamin in our inside the body. Types of vitamins, there are two types, fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble vitamins. Then fat-soluble vitamins are, I told you, DAK, D-A-K-E, vitamin D, A, K, and E are fat-soluble vitamins. Their excess amount may be harmful for the body, because if in body these vitamins are in excess, they cause dry skin, irritability, feeling pressure inside head. Too much vitamin D can also cause pain in bones, hard deposits in joints and kidneys, and also weight loss. Water-soluble vitamins, if we take them in excess, so they are not harmful for the body, because they excrete out in urine, in urine from our body. So vitamin B and C, vitamin B complex, because B complex contain many types of vitamins, B, B6, B12, B2. So there are various type of vitamin B. So that's why the whole group is called vitamin B complex and vitamin C. Our body has, I told you that limited capacity to store these vitamins. So the excess of this vitamin is excreted out from the body, because it is water soluble. That's why water soluble vitamins are not toxic, but fat soluble vitamins are toxic. Now, sources, uses of vitamins and diseases due to vitamin deficiency. Another word you can say, importance of these vitamins. Vitamin A is present in milk, butter, fish oil, egg, fresh green vegetables, and it is important for or necessary for eyes and skin. Deficiency of vitamin A may cause night blindness and dry skin. Vitamin B complex, they are present in whole meat bread, rice, yeast, liver, soya beans, fresh green vegetables, and they are important for energy production in cell. They are also important for nerves and Skin, for strong nerves, vitamin B complex are very important. In deficiency of this vitamin B may cause skin diseases, also tongue inflammation, anemia, and bleeding gums. Vitamin C is present in all the citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, tomatoes, fresh green vegetables, and they are important for blood vessels, also for gums, healing wounds. Deficiency of vitamin C may cause delay healing wounds, and also preventing cold. So that's why the in cold we should increase the intake of these citrus fruits because they are helpful in cold. Scurvy is a gum disease as well as skin disease, and vitamin C deficiency may cause those diseases, skin diseases as well as the gum diseases, bleeding gums. Then vitamin D is present in milk, butter, eggs, fish, and oil, and all of you know that vitamin D is essential for bones and teeth. And deficiency of these vitamin D in children causes rickets, and in grown up it causes osteomalacia. Then vitamin E is present in whole meal bread, rice, eggs, butter, fresh and fresh green vegetables, and it is an antioxidant. And A deficiency of this vitamin may cause hemolysis of red blood cells and also sterility. It may cause sterility. Hemolysis means red blood cells, they breaks down or broken down. Vitamin K is present in fresh green vegetables and liver, and it is important for clotting of blood. And deficiency of this vitamin may cause delayed blood clotting, which is called hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is a disease which is delayed blood clotting. Then question number 11, describe the importance of nucleic acid. What is nucleic acid? Nucleic acid are nitrogen containing compounds. They are long chain molecules made up of nucleotides. Nucleotides, I told you, are consist of three components: nitrogenous base, pentose sugar or 5-carbon sugar, and phosphate group. These three units combine together to form nucleotide. They are vital component of all life. They are found in all living organisms. They were first obtained from the pus of infected wound by Swiss biochemist 100 years ago. Types or kinds of nucleic acid, there are two types. Deoxyribonucleic acid is abbreviated as DNA, and ribonucleic acid abbreviated as RNA. Now their importance in science. What is the importance of nucleic acid in science? Nucleic acids are the only way a cell has to store information on its own processes and to transmit that information to its offspring. We say that nucleic acids are actually responsible for transmitting the information from parent to offspring. And when nucleic acid were discovered to be the carrier of hereditary information, scientists were able to explain the mechanism for Darwin and Wallace theory of evolution and Mendel's theory of genetics. So this actually, the discovery of this DNA and RNA become helpful for the scientists to like to explain those theories which are related to the evolution of human beings or living organism on the earth. Also, importance of nucleic acid in diseases, understanding how genes are read by the cell and used to create protein, create enormous opportunity for understanding diseases. Like we know that the RNA actually they synthesize protein, and the order or the code are given by the DNA. So genetic diseases occur when errors are introduced into the genes that DNA carries. Those errors create faulty RNA, and then faulty RNA create faulty proteins that don't function the way they are supposed to. So cancer is caused by damage to DNA or interference with the mechanism for its replication or repair. You know, DNA replication and DNA repairing. By understanding nucleic acid and their mechanics of action, we can understand about how they occur and eventually how to cure them. So this is all about the importance in diseases. Like even a single wrong code by the DNA may create a faulty RNA, and then that faulty RNA will create faulty protein, and that protein will not perform the function properly, which is required by the body, and then in turn causes many diseases. Question number 15, explain the use of dextrose in drip. So 5% mass by volume aqueous solution of dextrose is used in drip, and 5% mass by volume aqueous solution means 5 grams of dextrose dissolved in water to form 100 ml of solution. It is intravenously given to the patient. To which patient? Those patients which are severely dehydrated, or they are unable to eat, or is not allowed to eat. So especially the food is given to them in the form of dextrose and in the form of drips, especially to the newborns, to the small kids, to the old people who are weak and their body is unable to digest solid food. So they are given, and even the liquid food as well. So they are given dextrose drips. Then question number 16, separate water soluble vitamins from the following. I told you water soluble vitamins are vitamin B and C. So vitamin B and vitamin C are water soluble vitamin, and the other DAC, DAKE, they are fat soluble vitamins. So this was all about the chapter number 13. Now let us start the next chapter, that is chapter number 14, environmental chemistry, and the topic is, or the name of the chapter is, the atmosphere. Major concepts of this chapter are layers of atmosphere, air pollutants, acid rain and its effects, and the last topic will be ozone depletion and its effects. Coming toward the first topic, which is layers of atmosphere. But first of all, you must know what is atmosphere: the envelope of gases and water surrounding the planet Earth. The envelope of gases and water vapors which surrounding the planet Earth is called atmosphere. Not only water vapor, but the vapor or the water also is surrounding the planet Earth is called atmosphere. The atmosphere is divided into 4 layers: the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, and the last one is the thermosphere. The first layer is, I told you, troposphere, which is closest to the earth, then stratosphere, then mesosphere, then thermosphere. Thermosphere are then further divided into 2 layers, which are ionosphere and exosphere. So this one is ionosphere and this outer one is the exosphere. The first layer, which is closest to the earth, is the troposphere. That atmospheric layer closest to the earth's surface is called troposphere. Tropo means turning or changing. So it means that the conditions in troposphere are more variable. More variable means changes than in the other layer. In the other layer, no more or no greater changes takes place, but the changes, especially in weathers and in seasons, those changes takes place in the troposphere. Altitude, what is the altitude of this layer? From the Earth's surface till 12 kilometer is the altitude of this layer. And then composition of troposphere, this layer contain most of the mass, like 75 to 80% of the atmosphere. It is the layer where we live. All the dust particles and water vapors are present in the troposphere. Weather changes occurs in this layer. Most of the clouds are formed in the troposphere. Aircrafts fly in this region. They fly in this region. Also, they go to the stratosphere, but mostly they fly in this region. Temperature of troposphere is 17 degrees centigrade to minus 55 degrees centigrade. It means from positive to negative mean the temperature decreases. When we are moving at altitude or at a height, the temperature decreases. So as altitude increases in troposphere, the temperature decreases. For every 1 kilometer increase in altitude, the air gets cooler. How much time? 6.5 degrees Celsius. The air gets cooler 6.5 degrees centigrade. Meaning the temperature decreases. For 1 kilometer, the decrease in temperature is 6.5 degrees centigrade. The air gets, I forgot to mention here, cooler. In altitude, the air gets cooler about 6.5 degrees centigrade. The second layer is the stratosphere. The second layer, as one moves upward from the Earth's surface, is stratosphere. Strato means layer or spread out, and the altitude of this layer is from 12 to 50 kilometer, because troposphere is from 0 to 12 kilometer. After 12 kilometer till 50 kilometer is the second layer, that is stratosphere. And composition of this layer is the lower stratosphere is cold, about minus 55 degrees centigrade, but the upper layer is warmer than the lower stratosphere. It means even in the stratosphere, it is divided into two layers. One layer is upper layer and the other is lower layer. So the lower layer is cold. Its temperature is minus 55 degrees centigrade. But the upper layer is the upper layer which is closest to the third layer. It is warmer than the lower layer. So this layer contains little water vapors. Maximum amount of ozone, about 10 parts per million ozone is present in this upper layer. And as I told you that when we are moving from bottom to top, the temperature decreases, but reverse takes place in this stratosphere. Instead of decreasing temperature, the temperature increases. So they told you the reason that why this increase in temperature takes place. So they said that actually ozone is present in the upper layer of the stratosphere, which increases the temperature. The reason is that the presence of this ozone is actually responsible for the rise of temperature in stratosphere. How it increases the temperature, that is the importance of ozone. Ozone protects the living things on the earth from the harmful radiations coming from the sun. When actually the sunlight falls on ozone, ozone absorbs energy from the sun, and that energy is converted into heat, which actually warming the air, and then in turn increases the temperature of the upper stratosphere. Now you got it, that why the temperature of the stratosphere, instead of decreasing, it increases. The reason is the presence of ozone. Ozone actually absorbs those ultraviolet radiation which comes from the sun and convert them into heat, and which in turn increases the temperature of the upper stratosphere. What is the temperature range of stratosphere? Temperature range of stratosphere is minus 55 degrees centigrade, which I told you that the lower layer is cooler, to minus 5 degrees centigrade. That is the upper layer. The temperature increases from minus 55 to minus 5. You know that like in mathematics, the bigger negative value is actually smaller and the smaller one is bigger. So minus 5 degrees centigrade is greater than minus 55 degrees centigrade. The third layer is mesosphere. Meso means middle layer. The third layer of atmosphere is meso means middle layer, and this layer protects the earth from being hit by most harmful meteoroid. Which comes from the space, and this mesosphere actually stop those meteoroid to reach the earth and protect the earth from those harmful meteoroids. Altitude of this mesosphere is from 50 to 80 kilometer, and temperature range is minus 5 to minus 93 degrees centigrade. So minus 93 is cooler temperature than minus 5. It means that the temperature of this layer is very cold. From minus 5 to minus 93, very, very cold temperature. The next layer is the fourth layer, that is thermosphere, the outermost layer of atmosphere. Thermo means heat. This layer is very hot because the sunlight strikes this layer first. Oxygen and nitrogen molecules which are present in that layer convert this energy into heat, which in turn increases the temperature of that layer. So means the highest temperature is in thermosphere. Altitude, height is from 50 till 80 kilometer, and temperature is minus 93 to 1800 degrees centigrade. Just imagine from minus 93, which is very, very cold temperature, to 1800 degrees centigrade, which is very high temperature. So the reason is why the temperature of thermosphere is very high, because the sunlight directly fall on this layer, This is the layer which is closest to the sun, and definitely the sunlight falls first on this layer. Thermosphere is further divided into two layers. The first one is ionosphere and the second one is exosphere. The altitude of ionosphere is from 80 to 400 kilometer, and exosphere is from 400 kilometer to thousands of kilometer above the Earth's surface. So it means that this exosphere, this is the outer layer in the troposphere. As I told, thermosphere is further divided into two layers. The first one is ionosphere, and its altitude is from 80 to 400 kilometer. And exosphere, its altitude is from 400 to thousands of kilometers. So this is the external layer, and the temperature of this is the highest one, that is 1800 degrees centigrade. Let us see this image. You can see the first layer is troposphere, then stratosphere, then mesosphere, and the last one is thermosphere. You can see the altitude. The troposphere is still 12 kilometer. Then the stratosphere is still 50 kilometer. Then the mesosphere is still 80 or a little bit above 80 kilometer, 85, 82 or 85 kilometer. And then the thermosphere started from the 85 or then onward. So that is the altitude of thermosphere. Now, as I told you that this is the layer, troposphere is the layer where clouds are formed, where aeroplanes fly, where the weather changes, while in this layer, you can see the aeroplane can also come to the lower stratosphere also, to the lower stratosphere, the aeroplane can come. And then ozone is present in the upper stratosphere, and then you can see the meteoroid, as I told you, they are falling in mesosphere, and this mesosphere actually protect these meteoroid to go to the Earth's surface. And the temperature of the thermosphere, I told you, is the highest. Now this is a graph. You can see in this graph that this is the first layer, which is the troposphere. Troposphere, this is the height, h for height in kilometer. So you can see this is 10 and this is 12 kilometer. 12 kilometer is the height of troposphere or altitude of troposphere. And then after the altitude of troposphere, we have the second layer. The second layer is the stratosphere, and the stratosphere, I told you, it started from from 12 to 50 kilometer is stratosphere. From 12 to 50 kilometer is stratosphere. Then from 50 to 80 or 82 kilometer is for till mesosphere, and after that onward is the thermosphere. After that is the thermosphere. Then we have temperatures. Temperature of these layers. So the temperature, I told you, a temperature of the troposphere is 17 degrees centigrade. From 17 degrees centigrade, it decreases. From 17 degrees centigrade, the temperature of the troposphere, as I told you, it decreases. And this is when we are going at altitude. I told you for 1 kilometer, the decrease in temperature is 6.5 degrees centigrade. For 1 kilometer, the decrease in temperature is 6.5 degrees centigrade. So temperature of the stratosphere for the troposphere is from 17 degrees centigrade. It decreases till minus 55 degrees centigrade. And after minus 55 degrees centigrade, when we are going to the stratosphere, so you can see the temperature increases from minus 55 to minus 5 degrees centigrade. This decrease in from minus 55 degrees, then from minus 55 to minus 5 is actually increase in temperature. And this increase in temperature, I told you, is due to the ozone. which is present in the stratosphere, and that ozone I told you actually absorb the ultraviolet radiation and convert them into heat, which increase the temperature of this layer. Then in the third layer, you can see the temperature decreases again. From -5, it decreases to -93 degrees centigrade. It decreases to -93 degrees centigrade. And this decrease in temperature again, as there is nothing to, no gases or no ozone to increase the temperature. That's why the temperature decreases. And in thermosphere, you can see the temperature increases again from -93, it increases till on what means like till 1800 degrees centigrade, the temperature of thermosphere increases. So you can see the increase and decrease of temperature is alternate. Like if you look at the troposphere, in troposphere the temperature decreases from 17 to -55 degrees centigrade. In stratosphere the temperature increases from -55 to -5 degrees centigrade. In mesosphere decreases, and in thermosphere increase. So it is alternate. The change in temperature is alternate. You can see troposphere increase, troposphere decrease, then increase, decrease, and increase. So this was all about the layers of atmosphere, the composition of these layers, the temperature of these layers, the altitude of these layers, and also some of the importance of the gases which are present in these layers. So hope you will understand this lecture. Inshallah, the next topic we will do in our next lecture. Till then, take care. Allah.